Hey YouTube, Simon here once again for Fundamental Changes. Today we're going to look at a 4-chord progression and 5 different genres that you can play with those 4 chords. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's go and check it out just after this. Okay, so the concept behind today was I wanted you to be able to play different rhythmic genres but with the same chord pattern. So the 4-chord pattern that we're going to be using today, or varieties of, is C sharp minor, which is the 4th fret, and you're going to bar across with your A minor shape. The second chord is an A major in a bar chord form. You could do 5th fret, E shape. Now on the tab here, I've written a B sus2, which is the 2nd fret, and you're going to have like an E minor shape down a string. So that's nothing, 2, 4, 4, 2, 2. And then the last chord that I've written here is a G sharp minor, 4th fret, E minor shape on it. So those are the 4 chords that everything is going to be based on today, and we're going to do different genres. So let's start off with example 1, which is kind of a poppy, acoustic-y ballad. All right, there was example 1, which used the chord progression I mentioned just before it, C sharp minor A, B, and G sharp minor, or B sus2. But we've introduced some open strings, which sound wonderful with these chords. So something I really like to do when I'm playing rhythm playing or doing a session or anything like that is use power chord shapes on the 5th string, so that's nothing on the 6th. For example, this first one here, 4, 6, 6, but then have 2 open strings underneath it to create a really lovely ringing sort of power chord shape. So that's what I based this on today. So the 4 chords we had there were that 4, 6, 6 shape I just mentioned. Then we drop off the first finger to get nothing on the 6, open 6, 6, so that's your type of A chord, sounds really, really sweet. Then we move it back into the 2nd fret and the power chord shape that you had on first, nothing, 2, 4, 4, and then the open and open ringing. You can also strum these as well, sounds really good. And then you bring your middle finger onto the 6th string, those 4 and 4 stay the same from that 2, to create this G sharp minor chord here as well. So you've got 4, nothing, 4, 4, nothing, nothing. Lovely chords. That's your pop variety of this 4 chords, 5 ways. Okay, another sound I use a lot is the add 9 power chord shape. Now, if you've not come across that before, your normal power chord in C sharp on the 5th string here would be 4, 6, 6, just those 3 notes, nothing on the 6, 4 on the 5, 6 on the 4, 6 on the 3 or the G string. But to get an add 9 shape, you're going to bring out the 6th fret that you had on the G and make it an 8. It's also the first chord of sort of Message in a Bottle. Andy Summers was a huge, loved these add 9 chord sound a lot, but it also, as well as pop, can be used well in rock as well. So in this progression here, we're taking this through picking the notes individually and a couple of picks with a bit more distortion, And then we're doing the same shape in A, so we move up onto the 6th string, 5, 7, 9, and then back into the 5th string again for the B, 2, 4, 6. That again, that's an add 9 chord. And then we get a normal power chord in G sharp because it sounds a little bit odd when you do this add 9 shape in G sharp, but try it out. And then a little lick to bring us back to the C sharp. So C sharp add 9 power chord, A add 9 power chord, B add 9 power chord, G sharp 5 or normal power chord, and a little run. So that's your 4 chords in a rocky styling. Let's move on to the next example. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, as some of you know by now, my first love in terms of guitar playing is funk. A little bit more unusual sometimes than blues and rock and the other things, but I just love the groove, I love the backbone to it, and I love the fact that when anyone hears you play that, they just want to jive about, and you know, that's a great feeling. So example 3 here today, I've created a funk progression using the same chord progression, but I'm moving chords around the neck, so I'm not always playing those bar chordy type shapes. This one we're using very classic funk chords here. A C sharp minor 7, which is your 4th fret bar chord, A minor shape minus your little finger or your pinky, and you're going to hammer on the 2 notes that make up the minor 7 there. Think long train running. And then you're going to use your little finger or your pinky to grab the 7th fret of the top string, a very, very classic sound there, and then bring it back off. And we're also adding in some mutes here, so make sure you study the slow down example and use the tab in the article shown below as well for this one. Then we move up into the C sharp minor around the E minor shape, and I'm using a little 3-note triad idea on the top strings, which is quite nice as well, to get 2 shapes of the same chord. That's quite a cool way to mix up your rhythm playing. Don't always play one shape, mix them and match them, and I'm using a consistent 16th note kind of pattern in the middle here. I've got an A major 7, A major 9 chords on the D string, from the D string, 7, 9, 9, 9, and then 7, 9, 9, 7. Gorgeous, gorgeous sound, love that. And then we've got a little sus chord, B sus chord, nothing, nothing, 9, 9, 7, 7. Great sounding chord as well. And then I've got a sort of minor 11, G sharp minor 11 type sound, which is nothing, nothing, 6, 8, 7, 9. And then I resolve that to the same shape as the C sharp minor, but at the 11th fret, and we once again do our hammer on. Quite intense, this funk example, certainly a lot more difficult than the original chords. Take your time with it, especially if you're not used to keeping that right hand consistent. Go slowly and just get the pattern used to that, and try and get hammer-ons, building dexterity and strength in those fingers as well. Let's look at the next example, which is a little bit more jazzy. Okay, so the next one has a slightly jazzier feel to it. The first chord is a C sharp minor 9, which is nothing, 4, 2, 4, 4. nothing. A lot of my students struggle with this shape at first because it's quite a challenge to get used to that stretch, but keep at it. The sound is worth it. It's got that Benson, Latin-y type vibe. You know, even if you're taking away just a few new chords from today, hopefully you'll be able to move them about and use them in your own playing. Chord number 2 is an A major 9. I really love this sound. 5th fret of the 6th string, nothing, 6, 4, 5. If you're struggling to follow along with this, remember the article is below the video. The 3rd chord is the B sus2, like we looked at in the original example. Nothing, 2, 4, 4, 2, 2. And then we've got a G sharp minor 11. Sweet sound, sweet sound. 4th fret of the 6th string, nothing, 4, 4, 2. Nothing, 4, nothing, 4, 4, 2. Okay? Now the rhythm I've used here is quite a classic jazz rhythm. It's often referred to as the Charleston rhythm, from where it comes from. You're going to play on the 1 and the and of 2. So you're going to go 1 and 2 and. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. So you can see I'm counting that out loud and I'm plucking on the 1, plucking on the and of 2 there as well throughout this example. All of these chords are the same pattern. So have fun with that, and we're going to look at our final example, which is a little bit sort of a reggae pattern. Let's look at that. Okay, so our final example has kind of got that classic reggae type feel, and it's all played on the off beats. So instead of playing on 1, 2, 3, 4, you're going to chop the beats up now. If you imagine just counting eighth notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, you're going to play on all of the ands of the bar. So none of the 1, 2, 3, 4s, you're going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And then you're instantly in that kind of vibe, that offbeat, Caribbean-y type flow. If you play this sort of thing quickly, it can have a kind of ska type vibe. And if you play it a little bit more slowed down, it has a reggae vibe. So the other thing that you need to add in for reggae vibe is triad chords, or 3 notes. So instead of having big chunky old bar chords, if you're just playing the top 3 strings, or the E, B and the G strings, for these examples, you will get that feel. So the chords we've got are 6, 5, 4 for the C sharp minor, 6, 5, 5 for the A, 7, 9, 9 for a B sus, and then 8, 9, 7 for a G sharp minor. And these all come from bigger chords, but we can leave that for another day. So on the offbeat, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and you'll notice that I'm using upstrokes. I do the downs, all with down picks. So you're imagining your plectrum's going to go down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. The consistency comes from your strumming hand, but you're just going to play on the up. So the down strokes are almost like what we refer to as a ghost note. You're not playing the actual strings, but you're sort of strumming the middle of the air. So down, up, down, up, down, up. I'm exaggerating it, you don't have to do it that much. But play on the offbeats, on the ands, and then you've got your reggae pattern there. So I hope you've got something from these 5 examples. You've got the original chords, that doesn't count as an example, that's just showing you those. A pop, a rock, funk, jazz and a reggae over a very simple chord progression. My challenge to you after this lesson is try it out yourself. Doesn't matter what any chords you do, any way you play, try and add in a new concept. Maybe a new chord, maybe a new rhythm pattern, maybe a new way of playing it. Don't restrict yourself in a box when you're playing rhythm, because you're going to be doing that most of the time, even though we like to play, you know, noodly-tastic shredmungus type solos, you know, two-handed tapping. That's brilliant, work on that, that's great. But when you're out there backing a vocalist or you're in a band, you want to be solid with your rhythm playing. There's nothing more useful than a really tight rhythm guitarist. Have fun. Any questions below? I'm always here to help you guys out wherever you are and you're playing. Take care. I'll see you next time. Hi everyone, I hope you're feeling a bit more inspired in your rhythm playing today and seeing how you can take a 4-chord progression, or actually a chord progression of any length, and play it in different genres. You don't have to restrict yourself just to one genre. So make sure you subscribe because we bring you free videos every week. You check out Joseph's and my books on fundamental changes and on Amazon, and I'll see you next time for more videos.